We have started a project that was already started by someone else. So far, this is what we have accomplished. We have completed the entire level 4 roof with standing seam. The following week, with 4 men, we have accomplished to complete the entire level 3 roof. We've done the flashings around the roof lights, and then we started with the wall along the Bath Road of Bristol. We have managed in just 7 days to make sure we complete 140 square meters of standing seam. That includes insulation, top hats, rock bar, more insulation, third insulation, and then standing seams, including the flashings around the windows, drip flashings at the bottom, soffits above the windows, flashings above the windows, and a verge flashings along the slope. The terrace, we have managed to complete in only 1 week the entire standing seams terrace, again with insulation and everything around here. This wall, this is obviously level 3, this will be a balcony, so we managed to complete all that wall up to the end there. Now for the end here, we haven't finished it yet because don't know where exactly the brick wall is going to be. So there will be a brick wall somewhere about here, but I'm not quite sure where. And we have pretty much near to a 400 millimeter, maybe a standing seam sheet. But until that brick wall is complete, we can't put that sheet. I want that sheet to be tied to the brick wall, so we're gonna have to wait for the brick. But for that to happen, we need to strike that scaffold so the brick wall can come, be installed here, and then we can put the standing seam. We're gonna use probably a tower just so we can reach to the top over there and get that done. But yeah, overall we are now moving to flashings. The boys on the front of the terrace, they're starting with the flashings. Oleg is gonna get obviously the seamer and he's gonna seam these sheets because these are the only ones that they haven't been seamed yet. He'll get this done very quickly with Tony, and then yeah, we get from there. The next wall we are moving for, so we've got the materials here. We've loaded some insulation, we've cut insulation for the top hats. We were waiting for some fixings. Now today we got delivered some fixings. We're gonna get this filled into the top hats. We got more top hats ready in there, and we're gonna start with basically this wall. The brick needs to finish a little bit higher, up to about the window up there. That brick wall, get that done, and then we're gonna start here. We have been installing standing seams from Euroclad, which is actually a pretty good product. I haven't done this for 5 years, you know, and I think we did pretty well, you know. So considering that we've been only 6 weeks here, we've taken the job after another contractor. We needed to remove a lot of roof slopes that they weren't completed correctly. We have managed to do that. We put the standing seams overlapping the single ply about 200 millimeter, which was as per the drawings. We haven't faced much of a problems, to be honest. Few issues with missing materials and stuff like that, but we sorted that out. Now we know exactly what we are. We work with the managers from Crossman Group. We calculated how many jams and what flashings we need exactly per each elevation, so that's been sorted out. For the past 6 weeks, we haven't really faced much of a challenge here on this job until now. Here we have all these brackets for the balustrade that is going to come. It's basically going to get lifted with the crane, hooked into here, and job done. What we have here is now our standing seam starts from down there and goes all the way up to the slope, to that wooden frame. But what hasn't been thought of, obviously we have a cavity of 255 millimeter and we can't change that. That's just how it is. But the standing seam obviously has ends which are sticking out about 30 millimeter and then gets to 255 millimeter to the very face furthest part of the standing seam. Now this balcony will not allow that. What will this balcony allow is for the standing seam, if it was just flat and it's 250 millimeter, the standing seam easily can pass all the way through and we joint it and make it correctly. But we can't do that. So on the drawing it shows our standing seam stops to about below the balcony, which I've made a mark here, and then it starts again here. So that means we need a drip flashing above the balcony and we need another flashing here to cover the gap below the balcony. This is good until we come to this area between the windows. Now this is a heavy duty steel. I think it's about 30 millimeter thick, and I don't think we can actually put any top hats into that. So our last top hat, it will be literally here, and we need one top hat here because we have to install the rock bar to about that level and then put our flashing for above the windows. Here we won't have anything. So for instance, we have the highest sheet stop up to here, so it's going to come down from there and it's gonna come to about here. Now, when it comes to about here, that means we need to join with another sheet to about there. What we cannot do is, we can't have the sheet just standing here without having any fixing clips. And we cannot put any wear clips here because I can't install any top hats, nor I can put any rock bar so I can put the clips. So what we decided to do is, we're gonna omit that flashing and we're gonna omit that flashing here. We're gonna have continuous sheets all the way to the top, obviously with the joint, whatever the joint is. But we're gonna have to cut the ends of the standing seam just where the balcony sits, about 310 millimeter, yeah? So basically where the balcony is. And if that part is not seam, that's okay, we have a solution for that. We're gonna cut from a spare sheets a flat plate, nice, so we can put on top of the sheet. So I basically make it so you have the two sheets here, and we're gonna put the flat plate and we can rivet that. Now I have to say, we have two sets of drawings. We have an architect drawing and we have the designer drawing. So on the designer drawing, it shows a continuous sheets all the way, but on the architect drawing, it shows with the sheets finish here and the sheets starting here. And basically that insulation will be always exposed. Now we can't have that. Obviously we want the sheets to stay supported here, and if I have a full sheet here from the bottom of that window to the top on one clip, the sheet will be about 450 millimeter or something like that, 500 millimeter. So one clip will be sufficient enough for holding this small piece of a standing seam in between the windows, and it will be behind balconies. So, but on this instance, we're gonna have a continuous sheets all the way up, and then we're gonna basically put a strip with the rivets and butte-out so we can seal it. And there, you're gonna have it, all the insulation will be covered along the building. It's actually along this elevation everywhere, so we're gonna have the same kind of detail that we need to do around every balcony. This is actually the biggest elevation. This will be the last elevation. You will be delivered in two parts. With the tallest elevation, you have 3 floors to complete with standing seam. I don't know, you tell me, have we done good, have we not? Obviously, I haven't installed this for 5 years, but after seeing the Euroclad technical drawings, guidelines and everything, and then going through the details, going to some photos of different people installing the standing seam, putting the flashings and whatnot, I don't know, in my opinion, we've done pretty good because we haven't lost money. We had 4 men the first 4 weeks, and then we had another 2 men. So we are now up to 6 men, so we can carry on the work. Because what you have to understand is, you need to have a person at the bottom, put in the sheet, a person on top of that scaffold. Then these people needs to move to the top, put in another sheet on top of the first sheet, and then another sheet on top of that sheet, and then just like that and like that. You can't just simply go and install the first level of sheets and then do the second level, because they overlap, and when they overlap it's quite difficult actually to get the sheets once you install the first row. So you have to go like that, strip by strip by strip. So 3 sheets or 4 sheets, whatever the sheet, how many sheets they need to overlap. They overlap about 50 mil. But yeah, Euroclad, pretty good system. I'm very happy. I've actually been contacted by a client who've seen the videos of what we've done, and they're happy to award us 2 jobs with standing seams. So yeah, job good.